Hey, Gary, it's Ryan Charleston from Adpressive.
How are you?
Good.
Good, man.
There's a lot of talk about agencies and the role they play in native advertising,
Yeah.
storytelling. Obviously, that's what they're good at.
Yep.
And how publishers are kind of encroaching on that territory.
Yeah.
Doesn't this, though, put them back sort of at the center?
Who? The publisher?
Agencies.
Listen, very honestly, and I said it when I was in the wine business, I sat in front of a room like this in Napa with a hell of a lot more people, and I said, in 1999, I said, listen, I'm starting to do a lot more business on this thing called e-commerce that you all think is stupid. And I'm like, you better not make the mistake of me having more value than you. All of you in this room should start selling your wine direct to consumer. Because if you do, you're gonna keep a hell of a lot more of the money. To me, if VaynerMedia, my agency, does not bring value to my client, we should be out of business. So should everybody. So the answer is, you can't just say agency. It's like saying social network. Some suck shit and don't deserve the business. Some are good and are bringing more value, because it's really funny. That's another thing that I've learned about this agency thing since I decided to start one. I can't believe all hours are treated equal. I get on the phone with procurement and they're like, well, this, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that company is shit. Like, I'm doing good work. Can't I get more value for my hour if it's quality? And so I think that's what it comes down to. I think that publishers should play, very honestly, I'll go really rogue on you on this question. So, if you look at data, which I love so much, if you look at data, in 1982, the percentage of MBAs that went to CPG clients versus retail that went to Procter, and all the way up into the early 2000s, everybody went to Procter and PepsiCo and companies. Somewhere around 99, 2000, you started seeing an interesting shift where a lot of people started going to retail, and more importantly, the creme de la creme were starting to go retail. So, over the last 30 years, the amount of money that brands have put into working media versus trade has been stunning. If you look at the money that retailers like Kmart and Woolworths and all those guys got from brands in 1982, it was nothing. It was an afterthought. When you start looking at the money today that the Walmarts and the Costcos and what now Amazon is asking for, the trade dollars, it's stunning. At the same time, those companies, those Walmarts and Costcos, the amount of private labels they had 30 years ago were non-existent. Today, they're substantial parts of the business. So brands are funding their competitor. Their competitor isn't, Unilever's competitor isn't necessarily Cincinnati. It's more Arkansas than they think, and soon to be Seattle, right? So here is where I'm going with this, because you don't know why the fuck I'm saying this. Somewhere around the time when the talent started going to the retailer instead of the brand, something interesting happened. I actually think that the smartest brands out there, when they start winning the creative battle, and all of a sudden the best creatives aren't going to startups and maybe aren't going to fancy schmancy agencies, but they're going to brand direct and they become the best storytellers, I think there's a major battle between the publisher, the brand, and the agency. And who's gonna win is who's ever good at it, right? And so there'll be a fleshing out. There's a lot of below average work out there at scale that's gonna be fleshed out because the innovation's on, people are paying attention. I think the number one creative chick right now that is coming out of school today may wanna go to a fancy agency here on Madison Avenue. I think in 3, 4, 5, 7 years, it's gonna be interesting where that gal might wanna go, and it may wanna be brand direct. Every person, every business, every human in here, every brand, SmartWorld, everybody is in the content war now. We're all in the content business, and it's all gonna come to a head, and quality's gonna win, and whoever's got the right strategy is gonna win.